Skinwalker Ranch. This is fantastic. Hear me out. Skinwalker Ranch has everything that you can think of. UFOs, cattle mutilations, skinwalkers, portals, orbs, the list goes, ghosts. The whole list is there. Now this dates back to ancient times with native Indians, and they would draw on the walls about these phenomena that happens there. Now the ranchers in the 1900s would describe these events happening, and they're still happening to this day. And the couple that bought the ranch, I think in the 90s, eventually sold it to Robert Bigelow. And now he's a billionaire, and he's building a space hotel at the moment. But just look what's on the side of his building. This guy is very interested in aliens. So he bought the place and Skinwalker Ranch to set up mass experiments to try and find out what's going on and capitalise on whatever the phenomenon is. So Robert Bigelow had bought Skinwalker Ranch. Now Robert Bigelow also ended up somehow having the military use him as the go-to person for UFO sightings. So for example, if you was in the States, you would call a certain number, and it used to go through civilians and then military, and they would take down the details. You know, you'd say, oh, I've seen a UFO over Phoenix, for example. Somehow he got the gig to take all that information, because Robert Bigelow is well into aliens and clearly obviously knows his stuff. So he had all these, this is what they call homestead in Skinwalker Ranch, where a lot of phenomenon happens. Now while he was researching, they spent I think 10 odd years at least, with top researchers there. But he then sold it to another guy, and I'll carry that on after. So Robert Bigelow obviously kept all of the information that he learned at Skinwalker Ranch private. But when he sold it to an individual, now this individual had nothing to do with the military whatsoever, but this individual wanted to also do experiments and learn himself. He was very intrigued by it. But this guy actually allowed cameras to be on there. So the History Channel, I think it is, has done a program called Curse of the Skinwalker Ranch, or Secrets of the Skinwalker Ranch if you are in a different country. And there's some of the people. Now these are researchers there, and they're going through it. Fantastic program, highly recommend you watch it. So what's actually happening is there's a thing called a mesa, which is in Skinwalker Ranch, which creates a parabolic effect. This causes, using the rocks around it and everything, causes a distortion which allows UFOs and portals to... I will come back to the USS Eldridge and the Philadelphia experiment when I get more into the time travel side of things, but hopefully you can sort of start understanding that light frequencies can open or can allow one to travel to the alternate dimension, whatever you want to call it, that's right here that we just can't physically get to. There are places around the world that has a natural ability to actually open these doorways, rifts, whatever you want to call them, into this other reality that's right here but we can't see it. One such place is Skinwalker Ranch. If you watch my other videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. So this has the ability to open because of the properties surrounding it, the energy that's within the earth there, and the energy that's actually above because of the shape of the area. It allows these rifts or doors to open to allow creatures to come through. I just want to play a quick clip from a series called The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, or The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch, depending which country you're in. Can't praise this program highly enough. They've already done 2 seasons. Fantastic if you're interested in any of this kind of stuff. So basically they have security cameras around Skinwalker Ranch. They had cattle. All the cattle run off except for one. Here. And this cow here is now lying on the ground. And above it is a UFO.
It looks like an object above the tree.
So what happens then, I don't want to spoil it, but what happens is basically the cow dies. They get autopsy and stuff done, but they can't figure out what's wrong with it. They put the body, there was no mutilation, so maybe it got caught, it saw that the UFO saw that the camera's there or whatever, but they moved the body to the other end of the ranch, expecting coyotes to eat it, etc. A year later, nothing touched it, not even beetles.